was. I went to the grammar school at Ashburton. Well, I'm starting from the beginning because otherwise I'll get my,
No, that's fine. Yeah. That's fine.
I started off by going to a convent school at Ingston that took boys up to the age of 10, which is quite normal in those times, and 2 or 3 of my sisters right there. Then at the age of 10, I went to Ashburton Grammar School. And normally you stay there at those days till you're 15, but legally you could leave at 14. Of course, my dad wanted me on the farm helping, and I remember this day the Ashburton Grammar School, where it's down quite near the station. I don't know what they use it for now, but the sort of.
That's St Lawrence Chapel.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. I remember my dad taking me going up to the headmaster's study and saying that he wanted me to leave because I was more at use on a farm. And this headmaster, I can't remember his name. He said he's going to do Muxborough then, is he? Muxborough. That was the first thing you could think of saying. I spent 4 years, which was rather surprising because I wasn't academic, but of course I didn't have to pass any exams because my parents paid for me. But I never regretted going there because I think I learned quite a lot. And later on, when you go think back to times you spent at certain places, and you realise how much good it did being those 4 or 5 years at the grammar school. Doesn't hurt me now.
But you were saying about how you got to join the army.
Yes. Well, it was a bit like the First World War. We all knew that, we all suspected that there was a war coming. So all us 18-year-olds, old enough, rushed to Ashburton drill hall and signed on for Territorial Army, the 5th Battalion, 5th Prince of Wales Battalion of the Territorial Army, and that's how it started. Of course, once you'd signed although it was only a Territorial Army, but once the war came, I mean, that was it. You were in. Lock, stock and barrel. There was no way of getting out of it. You can't say, well, I've only joined the Territorial.
No.
That's just out of the question. You're in, and that's it.
So how long was your training?
I can't remember, really. Yeah, we did quite a bit of training one way and another. And, well, really, we trained until it was time to go over to D-Day.
Right.
We were up at Herne Bay for a long time. That was in Kent. I seem to remember that name, Herne Bay, where we did training there.
So did you see action anywhere else before you went to Normandy? No. Right.
That was the first place. I saw enough there without having to go anywhere else to find it.
So, do you have any memories of the American servicemen?
Yes. Quite interesting, really, because the American 21st Airborne Division, I think we were alongside them in Normandy, and I remember to this day one of their jeeps loaded up. They'd been out on the battlefield picking up all the dead bodies, and they were all higgly-piggly on this jeep, arms hanging out. I mean, they were all dead bodies, but to me it was a horrible sight. See these arms flapping around as jeep went over. But yes, Americans, they were all right, but I can't really remember an awful lot about them. But one thing I do remember though is that I was troop commander. No, I don't think you would have heard about this. But I was a troop commander no, not troop commander. I was sergeant in charge of one of those. And we were in a little town. I couldn't really remember the name of it now. I was guard commander, so but at midnight I was patrolling around there, making sure the guard were all right. When a German, no, not a German, a Dutchman, speaking almost perfect English, and most of them did. He said, "My wife's in labour." He said, "Can you help me?" And he said, "I've got to get to a certain place where she was booked in." But it wasn't the town that we were in, it was the one next door. I don't even remember the name of it. So I had to wake up my battery batman. He woke up battery commander and said to him, "Would it be all right if I take this chap and his wife to the hospital?" Of course I did, but the biggest mistake I made, we were going along, he was directing me, and you know if you're being directed to someone at night, you're obeying every instruction they give. But if you had to do it by yourself, in reverse, you haven't got a clue.
No.
Because you're only interested in what he kept saying.
Yes.
But when you've gone the other way, you don't know where you are.
No.
That was the second worst moment in my life actually, because it was when the Battle of the Bulge started, and there's three things could have happened to me. I would have finished up either prisoner of war, shot dead, or badly wounded. But fortunately, I don't know how I did it. I mean, it was one of those two traumas that I had. One where I don't know how I got that chap out of the town, and this was the other one. How did I find my way back to my own village, and I hadn't got a clue where I was going. And I only realised that about 2 years ago when I was thinking back, and I thought, that's weird, I can't remember anything about it. And it was another one of those traumas where you do things, and they're so frightening, because it was frightening to me, that you can't remember, you can't recall what happened. And I only found that out about 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh, it just came back.
By thinking about it, I thought, well, that's queer. I never remember going back.
But you must have done so.
Well, that's it. I found my way back to my own regiment, my own place where we were billeted, and that was the end of the story. But what I did hear afterwards was that this lady had a boy. And he was christened John, my
Oh, right, so they named him
and
after
he
you.
would have been about the same age as my oldest daughter.